Woohoo! Hey, hello guys. We are live. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing today? It's so nice to see you here today. Can you hear me well? Is everything okay? Yes, no problems. Okay. So guys, I'm teacher Gabi from Volta Redonda, and I want to know where you're from. So tell me here, we have the chat box, okay? So type where you're from. I want to see. Hey, hello. Suzanne is here today. Okay? So, where are you from? Brasas Recreio. Manuela. Hello, Manuela. How is the weather there? It's very, very hot. João Vitor from Volta Redonda. Suzana, Rio de Janeiro. A lot of people here. Is everything okay? Can you see me well? Can you hear me well? No problems? From Brazil, Gabriel from Brazil. Larissa, Rio de Janeiro. Okay. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, okay? Follow our page on Facebook. And we are always here. Now we are having a series of live streaming. And this is a great opportunity if you want to practice your English and if you want to get some information on topics that students, people who are studying English, they are interested in, okay? Lindbergh from Brasília. Okay. Very, very nice, guys. Volta Redonda. Volta Redonda. A lot of people from Volta Redonda here. Okay, guys. Now, I want to know if you are a student at Brazos, okay? If you're a student at Brazos, I want you to type hashtag at Brazos, okay? Who studies at Brazos? Let me see. Hey, good evening, Márcio. Let me see. If you are a student, okay, only students, type hashtag at Brazos. I want to know. Ana Beatriz. Okay. Very nice. Professor Pardal is a student at Brazos. Okay. Gabriel mandou. Okay. Larissa at Brazos. Very nice. A lot of students here today. Guizinho. Okay. João Vitor. All right. So, guys, everybody should pay attention, but especially if you are a student, pay attention to the tips we're going to give. We have here today 3 guests, and they will talk about different places. So, if you are thinking about going abroad, if you're thinking about studying abroad, okay, this will be a great live experience because we're going to talk about all the topics related to this, and you will be able to see people who have studied abroad. They will tell you their experiences. It's going to be amazing, okay? So guys, are you ready? Yes? Okay, so we are going to get started. Stay there and let's go. All right. So guys, what is it, right? What is a student exchange program? So it's a program in which students from high school or university, they go abroad, okay, abroad to study. And this is a great experience because the things you learn in class, you will be able to experience in real life situations, okay? I will tell you like a lot of amazing things that you will learn and you will experience. But like studying the target language another country, you will have to ask for direction, you have to order food, you have to solve your own problems. And while you're doing this, you will be practicing everything you have already learned in your country. Okay, so when you do that, you not only practice the language, but you experience the history of the place, right? The culture of the place, and you make new friends. Okay, this is a great thing, because after, when you come back, you can keep in touch, and you can keep on practicing with the friends you made in the place you travel to. Okay, and practice the target language. This is you'll be in a real life situation, right? And you once you do it, you see, like, you learn the flow, like the way people talk, because sometimes as a student you are a little bit shy to participate, but when you're there, you have to talk. You can't you can't run away, you can't escape from it. So you start talking, you start feeling more comfortable, and then even like the flow of speech, it will change. Okay, and you get, like, you develop a global perspective, because when we travel abroad, we are able to, as you're gonna make new friends, you're gonna get to know new people, you will open your mind, you will see how things are over there. Okay, so this is what a student exchange program is. It's when you go abroad, when you go to another country to study. Okay, this is what it is. Now, guys, I'm here to inspire you. Okay, we are here to inspire you. I won't be able to give you specific details, because there are a lot of programs, a lot of possibilities. Each country has a different, they ask for different documents, and the application is different. So here, I'll give you, I will give you some tips, okay? And if you really want to do it, then you are going to research about it. You're going to go to an agency, and there, depending on where you want to go, you can get more information, more details. Okay, now, guys, let's see. If you're studying English, right, and you decide to go somewhere else, first thing, you're going to decide where to go. Okay, this is the first thing you should consider. And this is not an easy thing to decide, right? Because there are a lot of things involved, the price, the culture of the place. So you need to think about it. So I want you to tell me where you would like to go. Okay, let me see. I wanna know, where would you like to go? Like, if you had a chance to study abroad. While you're typing, somebody asked here, does Brazos recommend a program? We don't. Yes, exactly. We don't recommend like an agency or a program. Okay, we are not partners with any agency, but you can talk to your teachers, to all the students all the students that have already gone, okay, and get some ideas. But we won't tell you where, like which agency you should go, okay? Manuela wants you to Canada or to the USA. Yeah, Canada nowadays, a lot of people want to go to Canada, England, Ireland. Yes. Until last year, I think Canada and Ireland was the place that most people were trying to go, were going. England, Canada, Colombia, yes, New Zealand. Yeah, here our focus is on learning English and practicing English. But student exchange programs, they are available in different countries in different languages, right? You can go to Colombia if you want to practice Spanish, okay? Let me see. Where would you like to go, guys? New York. Yes, I will talk about my experience a little bit. I went to New York. It's an amazing place. It's incredible. Guys, actually, I've never heard like a negative, completely negative experience. Like, of course, you will have some problems and something will happen that you were not expecting. But as a whole, everybody, they love the experience. And when you have a problem, it's a way to practice your English as well, right? You will have to call people, you will have to talk to people. So no matter what happens, you will always be practicing your English, okay? Boston. Yes, I've already been there, but I was just visiting. It's very Scotland, New Zealand. Yeah, today teacher Peter, he will talk about Australia. So pay attention. You're gonna like it. Los Angeles. Me too. Hi guys, so many places, right? So so these are the places like we dream about going, right? But as I told you, you need to pay attention to different things when you choose, okay, the place where you want to go. As I told you, today we're going to have here 3 guests, okay? Natalia, she went to England. Luke, he went to the United States. Peter, to Australia. And I studied in the United States, in New York. But this is a personal journey, okay? You will have to analyze everything the country offers, and then you will choose where to go, okay? So one thing that you need to pay attention to when you are deciding where you want to go is, do you want to study in an industrialized or developing country, right? The city you want to go, is it like a big city, or maybe it's a small town? Do you like that kind of city? Is it a beach place? Okay, so all these things you need to pay attention to, because student exchange programs, when you do this, you're not only going to travel and to go sightseeing, you're gonna live like the routine of the place, right? You will probably take a bus, you will have to go to school, you're gonna have to go to a supermarket. So you're gonna have the experience that people who live there have, okay? So think about the type of country and city. Is that where you wanna stay for a year, 6 months, okay? Each program has a different time range. Will you adapt to their eating habits, okay? I went with a group of students to Florida a few years ago, and the place we were eating, there was no rice and beans. And after 1 week, the students were going crazy. They were going crazy. It was funny because like this is something we eat every day. And when we are kids, your mom, you have to eat rice and beans. But you it's not something you really like, ooh, I want to eat rice and beans. But when we were there, the kids went crazy. They was like, we want to eat rice and beans. And I would never imagine they would miss that, right? So this is just an example. You don't have to go to a place that serves rice and beans every day. but check their eating habits, okay? Because you're gonna stay there for a long time. Check the activities they offer, okay? What are you interested in? What do they offer? Does that match with the things you like, the things you are interested in? Because as I told you, you're gonna live there, right? We have like 3-week programs, but some of them they last 2 months, 6 months. So what do they offer? What kind of extra activities the city offers, and also the program, okay? And the weather, okay? Guys, the weather, like people say, oh, I love cold weather, the snow is beautiful. But when you're there, you have to go to school like every day. And if it's snowing, it won't be like in the movies. So, do you really like cold weather? How do you think you will feel like if it snows every day, okay? Or if it's a place that is too hot. Do you like that? You'll have, as I told you, maybe take the bus, take a taxi. So check the weather conditions there. Again, I would never go to a very cold place. Okay, I like outdoor activities. I like hot weather. So when I think about a place, I usually think about hotter places, and this is something you need to take into consideration, okay? And also, guys, the school, where are you going? Which school are you going to study at? The course, okay? That country, that city. What kind of courses do they offer? Is that what you really want to do? Does that, I don't know, is that the course you want to take? Because this is an important part of the program, right? It's not only traveling and having fun. You will be there studying. So check the schools they offer, okay? That city offers. All right? Okay. Guys, is everything okay? Yeah? All right. Okay, so let's move on. So let's see here. So one thing, again, you need to pay attention, okay? When you decide to go abroad is where you're gonna go. Now, guys, the next thing is like where to stay, okay? And then you have to check the possibilities. There are different things you can do. Many people, they choose a host family, okay? I don't know if you know what this is. I will explain 4 examples, okay? I think Natalia will talk about another type of place you can stay, but I will talk about host family, hostels, apartment, and student lodging. So host family is when a family, right, provides board and lodging, like food and a place to stay, okay? And they will charge a fee. This is great because you will be in a domestic situation, right? You're gonna see how families in that country live. So in my opinion, this is like the choice that gives you the real experience of living in that place, okay? So host family is one option, okay, when you're deciding where you're going to stay. Could be a hostel. It's a cheap option. An apartment, you could rent an apartment. This is going to be more expensive. And student lodging, okay? Student lodging, you share the kitchen and sometimes the bathroom, okay, with other students. And as there are a lot of young people sleeping there and living there, they usually have supervision, okay? So it could be host family, a hostel, an apartment, or student lodging, okay? These are the places. Now, guys, there are different types, okay? There are different types of exchange programs. Today, all the guests, let me see, one was a short-term program, the other a long-term, and the other teacher, he lived there for many years, okay? So short term is like from 1 week to 3 months, okay? People sometimes they call a summer exchange program or a cultural exchange program. So this is a good option when you don't want to stop studying here. You are on vacation and then you go and you stay there for 1 week or 3, okay? This is a lot of people, they choose to do this so they don't have to stop studying what they are studying here. Like if they're in the university or in high school, they can go when they are on vacation. And then we have a long-term, okay, student exchange program. It's usually like from 6 to 10 months, okay? And then you need a student visa. You need more time to organize yourself, okay? So if it's a long-term student exchange program, you need more time to organize yourself, okay? And there is another type of program called au pair. Have you ever heard, guys? I don't know. If you have, just type yes, au pair programs. This is actually a very nice program. It's usually for girls, okay? But it's a great opportunity to study and to work there and then to see how the families live. Nobody has ever heard about this au pair? Okay, so I'm going to explain it. Au pair programs, as I told you, it's typically a woman, okay? And when you go, you help with the housework and with child care. So you'll be there, like babysitting, helping. Like you won't be like a maid. You're gonna help, okay? Keeping the house. And then you're gonna get room and board, okay? A place to sleep and food. Sometimes they give you pocket money to take a course or do something extra, okay? But this is good. It's a good opportunity if you don't have a lot of money to invest on this. Au pair programs, they are usually cheaper. And while you're there, you can make some money, okay? So check this if you're a girl and if you're thinking about going abroad. All right? Guys, how you doing? Are you okay? Yes? All right. Okay, the beginning. Yes, it's about babysitting. You will work as a babysitter for the family, okay? And they ask you to help around the house. But you won't have to pay a place to stay. You won't have to pay for food. And I have already seen some programs, as I told you, they give you some pocket money to take a course. Sometimes you can use the car of the family, okay, to go where you have to go. And it's usually cheaper, okay? It's a cheaper option. I don't know. I think this is a French word. You spell A-U, okay? A-U-P-A-I-R, okay? Au pair program. Check this. Okay? All right, guys, the beginning is a little bit more like a class because I'm explaining everything you have to pay attention to, okay? I told you have to choose where to go, where to stay, where to study, the type of exchange programs. And now I will talk about a little bit about the application process, okay? The application process, it's usually longer if you are going to need a student visa, okay? If you need that, you need some extra time. As I told you, could last like 10 months, from 10 months to 4 months to have everything ready. It will help you with the application, okay? Sometimes there is an interview, okay? So you have to be patient and keep that in mind, that you have a lot of documents you need to. Yeah, it's complicated. This is why everything I'm saying here, you need, after this live, you need to stop one day if you really want to go and plan. Okay, plan. Take a piece of paper and write, where do I want to go? Where would I like to stay? What kind of program do I want? Okay, and then you research and check for the best possibility. Okay, so remember, you need time for the application process. Okay, especially if you need a student visa. All right, and the last thing, is it the last? No, almost the last. And then we have the costs. Okay, well, the costs, they may vary according to the country, okay, and the institution, the school you're going to study. Sometimes you can get scholarships. I have a student, he got a scholarship to study in the United States. He is a cello player, and he's going to study there. They will give him, he got a scholarship, so he won't pay for everything. Okay, the school, the university will give him some money. Could be a loan or self-funding. You have the money, you pay for everything. Okay, so the cost will vary according to country, the length of study, if you're going to stay 1 month or 6. Okay, and personal factors. All right, now, is it the last thing? Yeah, almost there. We have the drawbacks. Okay, the drawbacks. These guys, you really have to pay attention, because this is like a dream, right? I want to study abroad, I want to go to another country, it's gonna be great. But you need to pay attention to a few things, okay? You may encounter some difficulties. Sometimes you have problems with the host family, okay? I don't know, the host mom, I don't know, there are all kinds of problems you could have. So keep that in mind. You can have problems with the host family. Sometimes the school pedagogy is not the one you are used to dealing with. Culture shock. Okay, when you get there and you see how they live, how things work, and you, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? And you may feel homesick, right? Like you will be away, you won't see your mom, your dad, your friends. So this is something that could happen. Okay, and now, guys, do you have any questions? Because now I will talk about my experience. Okay, yeah, drawbacks are the things that yes, you won't be happy when it happens. Like it's like when we have like the pros and cons. The cons, like you will miss your family, you may have problems with the host family. So this is what a drawback means. Okay, no questions. So guys, now I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience. Okay, when I was a teenager, young Gabi went to the United States. Okay, so this is me and my friend. She's Chinese. Okay, So when I was a teenager, I went to the United States and I went to high school. Okay, I went to high school. I finished high school there. But when I got there, guys, when I moved there, I didn't speak any English. Okay, no English at all. And this is something I always tell my students, don't do that. Okay, you need to know a little bit of English to start a conversation, to greet people. The only thing I knew was hello. When people said hi, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know that. So guys, I was crazy, okay? I was crazy. So I went there, I didn't speak English. So I tell my students, if you go, I know you're going to practice, you're going to learn, but if you know English, you will communicate better. The experience will be completely different. Even Disney, when people go to Disney and they don't speak English, I always think, oh my gosh, every ride you go, they tell you a story and they say something to make you feel excited. If you don't understand, you miss part of the experience, okay? And it's not only that. I had to deal with a lot of things. Like, as I told before, I missed my family. The schools there, it's completely different. The system, it's like university. You choose what you're going to study. What else? My family was in Brazil. My friends, they were in Brazil. So I had to deal with all these things, and also I had to learn English. Guys, the only thing I knew was hello and what time is it? And once I was waiting for the bus and a guy said, oh, what time is it? And I was like, oh, this I know. Just a moment. And I looked at the watch. I got so nervous. I couldn't see the watch. And I just like showed my wrist like, I don't know. So guys, when the teacher is trying to teach you what time is it and all those things, pay attention and learn, because one day you're gonna need that, okay? But yes, it was very, very hard, but it was an amazing experience, okay? And it felt like those teen movies. You know those movies like the yellow bus and the cheerleaders. This picture, the one I'm with the dress, this was my prom night. It was just like a movie. I had a date and the dress. A limo came to pick me up. So it's just like a movie. And you're gonna feel this when you travel. When you are visiting a country, it's a different feeling, right? You go to touristic places and the places they are ready to help the tourists. But when you study there, it's completely different. Like the way you communicate is different, you know, because when you're just traveling for fun, what you have to do, you're gonna buy food, you're gonna buy a ticket, but like real conversation about everyday situations, these you're gonna have at school, okay? And guys, seriously, it was the most incredible experience I've had in my life. Here, the other one, that was my graduation day, okay? Hi, guys, it's... I'm going back in time. It's very cool. It's very cool, guys. If you have the chance, if you have the money, if you have the opportunity, I always tell my students, go, okay, go. I have a daughter. I have a 5-year-old. It's not. She's not in the picture. On the picture, this is something else I will tell you. But I have a 5-year-old daughter. And I'm already thinking, like, where will she go? What will she do? Because I want her to feel this. I want her to have this kind of experience, because it's amazing. Okay, this picture, when I was there, it's very common for high school students to have like a part-time job, like babysitting or as a lifeguard. So I used to babysit these girls. And this is another thing, guys, that is very interesting. When you are babysitting, you get to learn, right, with the kids. When I got there, I was very shy because I didn't know English very well, so I got kind of introverted. But when I was with the kids, I felt comfortable, and they corrected my mistakes, and we laughed. It wasn't a problem. So if you go to these programs that you have to babysit, it will actually help you because the kids will teach you a lot. Okay, this was very, very nice. And this is me. This is a part of what I said. When you are, before you go, when you're choosing a place, think about the weather. Okay, I hate snow. I hate cold weather. But I was in New York. New York, you have like 4 seasons. Like when it's spring, all the flowers blossom. When it's summer, it's very hot. When it's fall, the leaves fall. And when it's winter, it's very, very cold. Okay, it's freezing cold. Yeah, it was part of the experience. But if I have to choose a place to go nowadays, I don't want to go to a place that snows. And then in 2015, I was able to have another experience, but then it was as a group leader. Okay, I went to Florida. This place is Fort Lauderdale. And I took a group of 10 teenagers. They went on a short-term program. So we stayed there for 3 weeks. And guys, this was incredible because in the morning I took them to school and they studied English. They went to an English course there. But in the afternoon, we had all kinds of activities. Like we went kayaking, we could go to the beach, we went bowling, okay? There was a student, he went to that basketball team is the Heat, I don't know, in Florida, Miami Heat. He went to a basketball game. He went crazy. So this is what I told you. Check the activities they offer because you'll be studying and also having fun. Okay, this was fantastic. So we stayed in Fort Lauderdale. On the weekends, we went to Miami. I think it's like 40-minute trip from Fort Lauderdale. And we went to Disney. Okay, Disney and Universal Studios. This was a longer trip, like a 4-hour trip. We traveled on the weekend and we were able to visit Disney and Universal Studios. So this was perfect. Okay, you had all kinds of activities. You studied there. The students, they were able to study, to have fun, to visit places. And to live the city life. They took a bus, they went to the mall. This was very, very... I'm back. So this is my experience, guys. Now, just to finish, okay? They're down here waiting for me, guys. Just a moment, I will call you, okay? So I've already told you the pros and cons. And just to wrap it up, I will talk a little bit about agencies, okay? When you are looking for an agency, you have to pay attention, okay, to a lot of things. Because if you have a problem there, you need an agency that will help you. So the first thing, let me put here, agency. The first thing, make sure the travel agency is legitimate, because sometimes you're gonna pay and you won't get the service you're paying for, okay? Don't put price above quality of service. Check out how much support they offer, okay? Do they offer a 24/7 help, like in your native language? Do they help you with visa and offer orientation before and during the program? Are they easy to get a hold of if you have an emergency? So all these things you have to check before you hire a service, okay? Look for feedbacks from previous clients. Maybe it's a friend. You can check it online, okay? And check if the programs, they offer like meaningful travel. You're not going there just for fun. You want to know the culture. You want to know the place. So check how the programs are, okay, before you go. Guys, I talked a lot. So is everything okay, guys? Any questions? Let's see. Questions. Okay. All right. Is everything okay over there? Mm-hmm. Okay. It takes a few seconds until I get your questions here. Okay. All right, guys. So are you ready to move on? Now I'm going to, okay, I got a question here. Good question. Okay. What is the best age to participate in an exchange program? Milena, it will depend on you, on your family, but I went when I was a teenager, and I think it was the right age, because when I was here, I don't know, my mom, like, she protected me too much. And when you do this, you have to be independent. You have to solve your own problems. And I think doing this at an early age was very good for me, okay? Because if I hadn't done that when I was 16, maybe I would be an adult that, like, is always depending on someone else. So it helped me grow as a person. So I think when you're a teenager, if you have the chance, like when you're 16, I was 16, I think this is a great age. But it will depend on your life, on if you have the money. There is a series of things you need to analyze. But in my opinion, okay, I had this experience. Also, the group I took, most teenagers, they were 15, 16, and I thought that was a very nice age to have, like, the first experience as a foreign student. Okay. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna call the next teacher. Okay, teacher Natalia, I'm gonna call you. Are you ready, Natalia? Okay, guys, so now Natalia will talk about her experience as a student. Okay. All right.
Hi guys, my name is Natalia, and my experience was in London. I think Gabi said a lot of important things that I need to make a little comments. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. I think it's this one. Is it okay? No, it's the wrong one. Sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, go. Is it right now? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so guys, just like I told you, I'm Natalia. I'm 25 years old. Uh, and I think Milena made a question that made me think because I didn't went abroad. I didn't study abroad when I was a teenager. I went as an adult. I was like 23 years old. And I think that there isn't a right age, in my opinion. Like I didn't have the opportunity to go like before. So that's the reason why I went with 23. Now I'm 25. I'm a teacher at Brazos. Uh, Milena was my student, if I'm not wrong. Um, and why did I choose London? I remember watching Bridget Jones, and I always wanted to run to those bridges and like crazy. I always liked London. I always liked the idea of being in London. So in 2018, I had this opportunity to go there. So I saved some money. I was already a Brazos teacher. I saved some money, and I decided to take a course there. I always liked arts, so that's the reason why I went there to study arts. I studied art at Chelsea College of Arts, and it was a very nice experience because I mean I was already graduated when I went there, and the course is like they are different. So it's a different experience to go to another country to study and to make a course in a university, just like I did. Um, so that's the reason why I studied arts there, right? Um, I went with an agency. They helped me a lot. It was my first time abroad. Just like Gabi told you, I think it's very important for you guys to check with other people that like they traveled with that agency and talk with, like, you have to have options. You have to have options, I think. You have to, I don't know, look for comments and check with people that traveled with that agency. And they helped me a lot. They were always talking with me on WhatsApp and helping and asking me, like, how is the house? How is your course? Is everything okay? We were always in touch when I was there. Uh, and they helped me, just like I told you, they helped me a lot. I started planning my trip in September and I traveled in January. Now, when I look back, I think that I didn't have, I didn't, I should have more time to plan my trip because I was like very anxious and I need to travel now. And then I did it. Um, but anyway, it happened. I did it, and it was an adventure, especially because I traveled by myself. I didn't have my mother, I didn't have my father, and I didn't have my friends there. And I have a really great time there. It was an awesome opportunity to know a lot of different cultures. Why? Because London is a very, 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 very big city, and people from all around the world. I met a lot of great people and many the great places there. People from the course and people from the house that I was. I stayed in house share. I didn't stay with any family. It was a house. It was very hostel, but it was a house. I had my own room and my own bathroom, and the only thing that I shared was the kitchen. And it was awesome. I don't know. I can imagine myself like sharing the space with a family. So that's the reason why I chose to stay in this house share. Uh, this house share. And I guess of the best part, in my opinion, was having time to think about me and knowing myself better because I had a whole month to think about things that I wanted from my life and in many different areas and things that I didn't want to. And it was my first time abroad, right? So, and London is very big. You can see a picture of the underground. They have many lines. I got lost like many times, but I always found the right way. Thanks to the GPS, guys. Use the GPS when you go abroad. In general, it was great to get out of my comfort zone because when you go to another country and you don't speak your native language, you really have to leave that other language that you are speaking because like you, just like Gabi said, you can't take a bus, you don't know the time, or you don't know where to go, you can talk to people. So that's the reason why it's very important to to really live and explore things. You have to explore things. And you know, a new reality, right? uh, you can see the pictures, like this is State Modern. I love museums, guys. I love museums and I love street art. This Nails Yard, it's a very colorful place. They have great coffee there. The underground, I miss the underground because I remember that it was my first passion, my biggest passion in London, because you could get anywhere with the underground, anywhere you could go by subway, right? And Shoreditch, they have a very big street art on the streets. I guess, in my opinion, right? The worst part was missing my family, especially my mom's food. I still live with my parents, and the food is very different. The food when you go abroad, just like Abby said, I wanted to eat rice and beans, and I didn't have rice and beans, and I didn't have much money to eat like good food every day, so I had to eat like Chinese food every day. When I came back, I remember that I asked mom, please, I need your food. I called her on the phone, I need your food, please. And she did it. It was very nice. Uh, and missing my family and my friends, because I knew a lot of different places and restaurants and museums and parks, and I mean, I wanted my friends there with me, but at the same time it was nice to be alone, and just like I told you, to have this time to think and meditate. But I was lucky there because I met many nice people there, right? And they were, just like I told you, from all around the world. They were from Japan, they were from Korea, they were from Colombia, they were from Italy. They were awesome. I mean, they were the best part of the trip, and we still in touch. Um, I think my experience with my experience, it was little. I spent a little time there, only a month, but it was great. It was really great, and I think Gabi said very important things, because when we teach, I think that most of our students, they don't pay attention to us. But guys, it's really important to pay attention to your teachers, because when you go abroad, even when you go to Disney, even when you go to your with your parents or with somebody who speaks English, there is nothing like you doing things by yourself, you doing things on your own. Like, you, I want to go to that museum, and then you are able to go by yourself, or I want to go, I don't know, to that restaurant and order that kind of food. It's really great to do things by yourself. And I think Abby said another important thing too is that uh, I think that I was overprotective too when I was younger. And I remember that my mother, she was like, "Oh my God, my daughter." I was 23 years old, guys. My daughter, she's going to another country by herself. What is she gonna do there? And like, mom, calm down, relax. I'm old enough. But it was great. It was great. And now, guys, that was a little bit of what I lived there. Now, let me introduce you to Peter. He's going to tell you about his experience in Australia. Okay? Thanks, guys. Hold on.
Hello, guys. How are you? Everyone good? I'm teacher Peter from Recreio, Rio de Janeiro. And I'm 25 years old, and I'm going to tell you guys about my experience living down under. Down under is the nickname that Australians have for their country. It's a reference to it being the southernmost part of the world, the southernmost country of the world, not including Antarctica. In this picture, I put Uluru and the Great Barrier Reef, Uluru is a big desert mountain that's in the middle of the outback. And no, outback isn't a restaurant chain. It's the name of the desert in Australia. They call it the Great Outback because it's like their garden, their backyard. The Great Barrier Reef, you may recognize the name from Finding Nemo, that movie. Remember, all those years ago, they lived in Australia. So, my experience living down under, I went there really young. This is me and my family. I was probably 4 years old. And I had a lot of luck to go there so young and grow up there. I studied I started studying there very young. I want to stop and just talk about this picture because this is a mother kangaroo and her baby. I don't know if you can see, but this is the baby kangaroo in her pouch, and they call the baby kangaroo the Joey. And it's very interesting. And Australians love to use these little nicknames for everything. Like Joeys are how they talk about is how they talk about the kids in Australia. They call you little Joeys. All right. So when I went to Australia, I lived in the capital, and the capital of Australia is Canberra, not Sydney. It's, in my opinion, a great city. It's a marvelous city, actually, because it's a little bit of everything. You have parts of it that are very modern and parts of it that are very calm, almost like a little town. And the city is divided in neighborhoods. So you have a neighborhood that it's more for living, a neighborhood that's more for night activities, nightclubs. Actually, this is called the city. And you have the political area where the parliament and the prime minister are. And it's fantastic and very beautiful there. Um, but I lived 40 minutes away from my school, which is Urambi School, my primary school where I started. And Urambi, if I'm not mistaken, is an Aborigine word for gathering place. And as you can see behind Urambi, there is a painting of animals and the wildlife of Australia. Because Australians really like to talk about their history, their origins, both the Aborigines, which are the Indians of Australia, and the colonizers. They like to talk about both parts and like to link everything. And why do they like to talk so much about their history and the environment of Australia? Maybe some of you have an idea, and it's because of the wildlife. The Australian wildlife is exotic to the whole world because everything there is different. You have kangaroos, you have platypus, you have all kinds of animals. And if you're planning on doing an exchange and want to have an adventure with exotic animals, I think you'd really like to go into Australia. So here's a little pic of a koala, and here's a pic of a Tasmanian devil. You know Taz from Looney Tunes. This is what the animal looks like in real life. Looks like a rat. But other than the exotic animals, it's really a gorgeous place. You have the Floriade, which is an event in spring where they plant these tulips and they make pictures. This picture isn't good, but if it was a bit higher, you would be able to see a picture of a valley, of a wonderful environment, and it's very nice. In the winter, they have hot air balloon celebrations because the air is so cold. It doesn't snow in Canberra, but it's so cold that they can lift the balloons with the hot air. And it was always a nice start to winter. And that's what I think is always great about Australia. They like to celebrate everything. They like to have Aborigines go to school and teach you how to survive in the outback because that's part of their history, the history of the boomerang or the history of the didgeridoo. And they also like to talk about what's the origin of the people because, like, I don't have an Aussie accent saying, "G'day, mate, how are ya?" But that's a very strong accent that some people there have, while others have this more calm accent. And I always thought that was really interesting about Australia. You had very different people, but they are all linked. They all have this nice connection about them. But if you're going to Australia for an exchange, I think you're probably going to go to the superb Sydney. This magnificent city is the Rio de Janeiro of Australia. Everyone knows Sydney, and everyone thinks that Sydney is the capital of Australia. And although it is a metropolitan city, it's very modern, very new. It's not actually the capital. The capital is Canberra. But Sydney is a great place to do the exchange program if you can find one, because it's very modern and it also has very good access to many great places, to beaches, to snowy areas more to the south, to zoos where you can see all these animals, to aquariums. It's great. It has a little bit of everything. And it's also the place where they most love Brazilians. I don't think you'll find a lot of Brazilians there, but they get really excited to meet Brazilians. I remember when I went there and I introduced myself with my Brazilian name, people would go, "Oh my gosh, you're Brazilian. Oh, soccer." They didn't talk so much about Carnival, but they were very accepting and they talked about rice and beans and barbecues because they know that we are a country that loves our barbecues and they like barbecues too. And I think that's a connection between us and Australia. They are very hospitable, like Brazilians. They love to be warm, they love to be outgoing, like we do. So if you're looking for somewhere to go on exchange, I think Sydney and Australia is a great place. Personally, I lived there. I didn't have the situation of going on an exchange, but I think the factors of being a melting pot of culture, like many different cultures, of having an accent that isn't very strong. They are very calm accent. They have a very calm accent, and the fact that they are very hospitable. They like to talk with different people, with different cultures. I think it's a great place to go for an exchange program. But I imagine it's a bit expensive because the ticket to Australia isn't cheap. But if you research and you have the opportunity, go for it. And if you're a big geek and nerd, like I saw some people talking about New Zealand, you should try going to New Zealand too, because New Zealand is where they filmed Lord of the Rings. And I know if you're a geek, you'd love to go there. The last thing before I introduce the next teacher is Australians love big things. I don't know what their problem is. They love to have buildings called the Big Banana or the Big Merino. Merino is a type of goat. And you have the big crab, the big pineapple, and they're everywhere around the country. They really like it. But that's what I think it's great about Australia. They are very crazy and fun. So, guys, the next person that's going to talk with you is Luke, and he lived in the USA. So see you next time, guys. Uh,
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is another live. Last time we were here, we were talking about how to behave in a job interview, right? And once again, it's a great pleasure to be here. I hope everybody can hear me well. I hope you can listen to me. And after Peter's presentation, I'm really envious right now. I can say I'm green with envy because Australia is such a nice place, isn't it? All right, guys. So, I'm going to share a little bit of my experience here with you as an exchange student, and I've lived in the United States. All right. When I first got the news that I would be spending a couple of years abroad studying, I was just astonished. This is probably every student's dream, I guess, right? Like getting to know a different country and speaking another language and being like delighted with the experience the world has to offer, right? I was approved for a university in Iowa. Yeah, that really is not one of the most famous places you're gonna hear out there. But people in Brazil even pronunciate it like Iowa. Yeah, so but the correct pronunciation is Iowa. Iowa is a state in the Midwest region in America. Yeah, as you can see here from my presentation. Hope you guys can see it. Um, as soon as I received my letter of approval to the university, I started researching everything I could about the region, the cities, and my new college campus. I was so excited. The excitement that precedes an academic interchange program is gigantic. When you are about to go to university abroad, you are just so anxious that some people can't even sleep. Anxiety often takes over your body, and you can help thinking and talking about it all the time. I must apologize to my friends and my family for really reinforcing that all the time, but I was really excited. Of course, your family starts missing you from the moment you know you're going, right? But that's another subject. My learning journey would be an undergraduate one, like we say. Students that go to college in the United States, they are defined in English as undergraduate students, right? Some people kind of mix these informations up, but I was an engineering student here in Brazil, and I would keep on taking these technology-related classes over there in Iowa. All right. One thing I always tell my students at Process is how important TOEFL scores are when planning on studying abroad, right, guys? Um, some of our students, they are already practicing for these proficiency tests, whether it's TOEFL for being an exchange student, whether it's also TOEIC for professional uses. But these scores, they are extremely important when you plan on going abroad. Yeah. Uh, my TOEFL score was a real game changer for my American university application, definitely, because my score really helped me getting into this university. Um, we usually tell people that at Brussels, our students are constantly being trained and prepared for having great results on these proficiency tests. And the teacher is kind of making some advertisement in here, right? The teacher is a kiss ass. And these experiences abroad, all right? You probably already know that, right? So everybody knows Brussels has a really high quality of teaching. I can tell you guys that like moving to a different place really affects people in many ways. Now imagine moving to a place around 6,000 miles away. That's a lot. It makes you think, right? Makes you wonder a lot. But most importantly, it broadens your horizons. I usually tell people that your horizons, they get really wider when you travel abroad, when you study abroad. That's such a great experience, guys. You would probably ask yourself right now whether it's scary or not, and I will tell you that it might be at some point, but it definitely pays off in the end, boys and girls. Just like teacher Gabi said before in the introduction, when you go abroad, when you study abroad, you will put your English language skills to practice, like all the time. Being surrounded by foreign language will make you practice. You're going to kind of be forced to practice wherever you are. There's no escape, right? And then we come to the people. I usually tell my friends, my coworkers these days that I have been blessed to move to Iowa, even though like some people say, hey, I don't know this place. I don't know where it is. So where did you live again? Can you repeat the name? I'm confused. I've always had that bad stereotype about Americans in mind, and I guess most people have this stereotype, right? People tend to say Americans are cold, introspective, they won't make friends easily, and stuff like that. But I can tell you guys, from my experience in here, I've never met nicer people. Maybe I was just lucky, but Iowans, like we call people from Iowa, they make justice to their state motto. They have a state motto, like the slogan of the state is like "Welcome to Iowa, nice." And then I was always trying to understand why they would say that. But really, people are really, really helpful, kind, extremely generous. So I really feel I got very lucky. This is such a warm welcome for a person like myself, and also for you guys that are like planning on going abroad at some point. Um, by feeling embraced, I guess that every person, every learner, every student, when you feel embraced, when you feel you are being welcome, we tend to express ourselves better, right? And we tend to put the language to use, and that's great. Some people say when you drink, you have the same feeling, but I'm not going to talk about drinking. I don't suggest drinking here, maybe later. Okay, so when people think about the United States, guys, the first thing that comes to mind probably is, let me make a guess here, Miami, New York City, and California, right? These are pretty popular, aren't they? But don't get me wrong here. I love all those places too. They're superb. And I will talk to you a little bit more about how I got there in a moment. All right. My point here is when you travel to a place like Iowa in the middle of the country and you get to know all the small towns and cities, you are truly experiencing the American lifestyle. Yeah, I guess that, well, the scenery, if you go to these places, the scenery is just gorgeous. Okay, I have to admit, like the first time I landed, arriving in Iowa from a plane, I said, hey, we are about to land in a big pile of grass. I don't see a single house. Where am I going? What is this place? I was really confused. But guys, the scenery is just gorgeous, really. Visual astonishing fields, farms, all these quaint little villages to drop by, visit, grab a snack and stuff like that. These places they tend to be very calm and relaxing, and there's also a big cultural scene. All right, music and movie events are very common within the university campus on weekends, on special dates. All right. As you can see there on the screen, this is the university I went to. Okay, it's a really beautiful place. It's gorgeous. I love it. I miss it so much. You can't even imagine. Um, well, I'm talking about all these leisure activities in here, but let's not forget about one of the main reasons you are living in a foreign city, right? And that's studying. Yeah, most interchange programs are focused on studying, aren't they? And many Brazilian people they spend different periods of time abroad in order to improve their language skills. Um, Other people they take different courses. They can be like technology courses, something related to their job, and some others they join internship programs and companies in the United States. As for myself, I took part in these last two I mentioned here right now. I was an engineering student in Iowa, and I was also a science intern in New York. Um, so most people come to me and then they ask, "Hey, how's academic life in the States? How is it?" They say, "Well, is it like here in Brazil? Do we take like as many subjects as we would like?" Well, in American classrooms, you are presented to about 4 to 5 subjects in college per semester. Okay, that was my experience at least. But don't take this number for granted. The workload is massive, really. Even in college, students are expected to learn from the classes with the guidance of a professor, and then you have to develop homework and research activities outside of class. It's I usually tell people that for every 2 hours that you spend um, inside the classroom, you will be studying twice as much at home. That's definitely true. So to sum things up in here, it is definitely a great blend of academic and leisure lifestyles. It's great. Studying abroad will definitely grant you friends for life. I talked to people I lived with until this day. They're great. I love those people. And you also create a network, right? An academic, a professional network, and that's really great as well. Apart from all the regular classes like related to engineering, I took German language as a minor when I was in the States. and I have signed for this class, and I got a couple of Brazilian friends to join me there as well. I have fond memories of these afternoons I spent in the linguistics center in Cedar Falls in the city. A few Brazilian friends and I, with American classmates, taking classes from a native German professor. Wow, can you imagine that? It was like a big mass of languages inside the classroom, but it was really fun, really, definitely. The weather is as crazy as here, of course. In a moment, you're hiking and seeing waterfalls, riding a bike, and just looking at the fields in the sunny weather. Next thing you know, the snow is falling, and temperatures that have dropped below 0 Celsius. And yeah, Celsius. If you tell Americans about Celsius, they get totally lost. They don't know what that means. And Fahrenheit is really complicated. All right. After these 2 long semesters, it was time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye to Iowa. It was this bittersweet feeling of leaving some good friends behind while thinking about the next stop, an internship program in New York, and that was like also a great opportunity. Not taking a flight this time, too much stuff to bring along. I kind of spent like 14 hours on the road, crossed like 5 states by car before finally getting to my destination. And yeah, I'm just trying to illustrate this in here for you. New campus, new place to explore, and all that excitement, the anxiety, they start building up again. And there I would just develop some engineering tasks to like develop a collaboration on this doctoral thesis. There was this student, the guy was top of the class, and I was just expected to help him. But it really was a great experience. These universities, here I'm showing the state of New York compared to where Iowa is. These universities in the US, they offer like a wide range of facilities. There's not just like classrooms and places for you to sleep. You will find some quiet spots to study. You find some places to read at the huge libraries they have scattered around, as well as you can also challenge yourself with some gym routine. They usually have some big gyms inside universities for you to enjoy. Of course, I didn't go there much. The academic calendar is somewhat different from the one we are used to in Brazil. College reception and the start of the fall semester is in August, September, something like that, and it stretches up to December. Like in the middle of this period, in the middle of the fall term, there is a big holiday. Yeah, holidays are not very common over there in the United States, but they have this big break for Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving break is one of the biggest ones. Most American students, they travel back home. They spend some days off college with their families. And the international group, like me, the other Brazilians, some Chinese people, lots of Asian people over there, we would just stay on campus and throw a dinner party ourselves, or sometimes join local clubs and churches for a cozy get together. Traveling around in the States is one of the best options to enjoy your leisure time. You have several options, like the traditional coach bus, like we take here in Brazil in our cities, to visit some cities nearby. There are the trains. The trains are great to travel a little further while just like reading a book or dozing off. Trains are extremely comfortable abroad, definitely. And of course, you can also make some plans and maybe catch a flight to go somewhere far, right? During the time I spent abroad as a student, I was able to travel to Chicago. It's over here on this left picture. One of the most amazing metropolitan areas in the country. I truly loved this place, really. And Chicago is like the birthplace of blues, yeah, like in blues music, and that's only one of the aspects. Blues was born there, and they also have this famous pizza that you can stuff yourself with and feel no remorse afterwards. I also had the chance to go to California, as you can see here on the picture on the right. I don't know if I have Hollywood sign pictures in here. I guess not. All right, but I really tried going to the Hollywood sign. I tried like hiking and going up there, but the weather was so severe on that day, so hot that I just gave up. I took the last sip of my water bottle and I went back to the hotel. I was tired but happy, like one of the dialogues at Process. They say that. All right, so having lived all this, boys and girls, I really can assure you here. Traveling, be it for studying, be it for working, it's really good for the body and good for the mind. Once you open up your horizons, I usually tell people that you will forever be out of the box. You see, your horizons are definitely widened when you have an experience like this. And I really hope everybody has a chance to do that at some point in life. Thanks for having me here. That was my experience. It was great sharing with you. And now Gabi's coming back with you guys. See you later. See you next time, guys.
Okay. All right, guys. Just to something Luke said, and I totally agree. People say American people are cold, but when I was there, I felt the opposite. Like they were always willing to help, and I think this is because when you are a student, they value that, like you have left your country to go to their country and learn their language and their culture. So I think they feel I don't know, as like a mission, like I have to help this person. So everybody was very nice, very friendly to me when I was there. I was afraid because I went to high school, and in the movies we see a lot about bullying and all that stuff, but I've never gone through anything like that. Okay, so guys, this is it. Okay, it was very nice having you here. I hope we have inspired you. This was our intention. And no matter where you choose to study, there are benefits of studying outside your comfort zone, right? So while there are inevitable downsides, like we had to talk about this because we couldn't come here and only talk about traveling and having fun and great experiences, because there are some downsides, okay? Some negative things about it, things that could happen. All right, I'm not saying they will happen, but they could happen. And it's a once in a lifetime experience. It's you're able to explore, to learn, to grow as an individual. And again, if you have the chance, if you have the money, do it. Okay, it will change your whole life. Okay, so this is it. See you next time. All right, guys. Bye bye. See you.